What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Yard Red Festival. This is going to be Game 3 of the best of 3. Obviously means both teams are one game apiece. And this is the tournament where all the funds from the ticket sales goes to support the Red Cross, so you're supporting a good cause by tuning in. And, well, hopefully this game is going to last a little bit shorter. Here on the HeflaTV ESFX channel, I'm Mike Loris, and I still have Mr. Blackadder on the line.
Good evening, afternoon, whatever time zone it is, wherever you are. God damn, we've had some long games, and some long breaks, and some long pauses.
Hey, it could be worse. I mean, the BGC is delayed by like 4 hours. That's cool. At least
Better
it's
than
not
us.
Well, yeah, okay, so trying to get into the mindset of this game. That last game was an amazingly slow roll from Team Coast, and well, it looks like we're going to be seeing something a little bit different. With Centaur and Brewmaster on the field, I want to say Coast are going to be a lot more decisive with, you know, either going super aggressive and coming out on top and winning, or losing and then losing. But Terrorblade is going to be banned out along with Earthshaker Viper, Razor Death Prophet, all kicked out as well. Goomba take the Skywrath Mage, Faceless Void combination. What else can we say about this combo? It works very well.
Yeah, it does work very well. It's just what else are they going to pair with it, considering Team Coast have themselves a Brewmaster and a Centaur. I mean, the control they already have is quite large.
Yeah, Team Coast are going to be able to pretty much run the fights, although Chronosphere is going to be a pretty large thorn in their side, and the silence onto the Brewmaster is always going to be very threatening as well. Now Venomancer being banned out from Coast. Didn't exactly see this one coming. It was running game number 1, but that was like a million years ago, so I don't even remember that game, and Goomba won that one, so it was a victory, I guess, for Goomba, and a hero that they might have possibly picked up, but would they have picked it up against Centaur Brewmaster? That seems iffy.
A bit iffy, I'll grant you that, but I'm just finding it curious what Goomba are going to opt to ban here. I mean, they've taken out the Enigma. I mean, what else do you think they should ban?
Well, I wasn't going to say Vengeful Spirit, but sure, Vengeful Spirit. I mean, it's one of the best counters in the game versus Chronosphere. Aside from, actually, Elder Titan Stomp is really kick-ass as well, but if you swap out whoever's in the Chronosphere, they're going to live. That's pretty much the end of it, and it is going to also let them pick up a Bat Rider if they want to do that, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that coming out from Goomba. The counters from Bat Rider are already banned out. I mean, you could take the Shadow Demon or kick out the VS, no matter what you want. The Bat Rider is still going to be a good pickup, and I think worthwhile for Goomba.
I'll say it's worthwhile, but for Goomba, they've got themselves a Skywrath and a Void. You did mention the Elder Titan with the Stomp. Both teams can really work with it here, since if you throw it in favor of the Void with the Chrono, you just strip all the armor away from the targets you're just going to start beating down on within the Chrono. I mean, it could make some sense for your offlane, and then you could have Goomba run a safe lane Void. A couple of other things that do come to mind. Jakiro would work quite well, and Jakiro Core is quite popular these days.
Yeah, I mean, I love me some Jakiro. I don't really love core Jakiro as much as support. I think he really needs the right type of team comp built around him. With Faceless Void Skywrath Mage, it's the startings of the right type of team comp, but not quite there just yet. So picking up a Jakiro at all would be nice, just offering that flexibility down the line. Instead, it's going to be Mirana. And, I mean, she doesn't have that much setup, but does that really matter? We saw some pretty decent Mirana play from previous games.
True, but both times the Mirana has been in the hands of Coast, I believe. It was played by Solon in both games. No, not Solon in both. It was Solon in the first game, Hansken in the second. So let's see what Goomba can do with it that Coast can't, per se.
Well, it's going to be a little bit more of a difficult road now that the Shadow Demon has been picked up, so whoever is going to be unlucky enough to get hit with that arrow is just gonna get put into the bubble of safety, and then they'll probably live. Also, it's another ban out so that Goomba can't get their hands on Shadow Demon. Not the best combination with Skywrath Mage, but it's a really nice combination with the Mirana. Still, they have access to the likes of Bane. It will be an okay pickup for Goomba. I'm not really sure if they want to be going for that. Maybe they're satisfied with support Mirana with support Skywrath Mage.
Support Mirana and Skywrath can work, but then we're looking for two heavy damage dealers right now, and they don't really have a hard stun to start off or a hard lockdown to start off any fight other than the slow of, say, the Skywrath Mage. which is problematic in many ways. But if it is that combination, ooh, okay, that's a little unexpected.
It is unexpected, but I like it. I mean, Troll Warlord faces Void. If you load up on attack speed, you're going to be tearing through pretty much everyone. Permabashing is going to be the dream with both Troll and Faceless Void. So you get a lot of synergy with attack speed. You get a ranged heroes that can put damage into the Chronosphere situationally. And overall, it's a decent laner as well, especially when you're going to be expecting to be up against a Brewmaster lane. So I like the Troll Warlord pick here. What about you?
I gotta say I like it, but more for the reason that Troll Warlord is either you win relatively early, sub 30 minutes, or you lose. So we could be looking for that high-paced game that we were looking for earlier.
We can only hope.
Indeed, we can only hope, but now it's a Lich for Team Coast. They're going to try to slow this game pace down a bit.
God damn it, Coast. That should be a very aggressive hero. Get a Chen and go all in. I would like it won't work out for their lineup, but it will be interesting to see for sure. Lich is a solid enough support hero. The armor is going to be very relevant this game, the ice armor, because you're dealing with a Troll Warlord faces Void. The majority of Goomba's damage later on, once mid-game hits, is going to be physical.
Yeah, very true. The majority will be physical, and the ice armor will at least rapidly slow down the ability to deal damage and kill off, but here's the curious bit. What are the final bans going to be? We get a ban on the Ember by Goomba, and I can completely understand that, especially if we're going to be looking for some mass illusion hero for this last pick.
Well, I mean, it is going to be Ember banned. Now Batrider are going to be kicked out as well. Even though Team Coast are decently prepared against the heroes, still respecting that possibility. Goomba, they could either go for another support in order to partner up with the Mirana and have Troll Warlord attack speed go like for the Mirana, Troll, and the Faceless Void. Or they could look towards another core. Again, ranged is better. And Viper Razor already out of the pool. Who else could really benefit from this? Team Coast, they're kind of disable light. Maybe this is the Morphling Weaver game.
10 seconds remaining.
It could be. Morphling would actually fit quite well, but this is the bit that I'm going to have to draw a parallel with. With the Troll Warlord, you want something that can maintain use at the high attack speed. The Weaver makes some sense, yeah. So does the Morphling to an extent, but something that can deal large amounts of physical damage that maybe can fit that support role, or just look to all-out fight, like a Slark, can abuse the battle trance of the Troll. And it's just abuse of battle trance that we're looking for. Now, the faster the Slark attacks, the more he will steal with that essence shift. So that's a pretty damn good combination on paper. But in practice, I'm wondering how good this will be. And there's your Morphling for Coast.
All right, so kind of right in the Morphling, but not totally, obviously. Slark is going to have some trouble sticking onto his targets, as he's going to have to deal with the disruption and all of that stuff. But again, there's not much lockdown on Team Coast, and even if they did have it, Slark is by nature just a slippery hero. The burst damage on Team Coast through their supports is not that high. Shadow Demon doesn't exactly have that much. He's mostly just a utility setup hero. Lich is okay with burst. Brewmaster Centaur have it in spades, but I don't know. Slark should have a good time if he has a good lane, and I could see the lanes working okay for Goomba. They're not going to be anything fantastic, but assuming the... that's not the right overlay. There we go. Assuming the supports for Goomba are actively pressuring or poking the lane, then they'll be fine. What are Coast doing? They're just, like, lining up. Okay, there we go. So they're all loading out to their lanes, and let's see who's going to be playing what. On Coast, we got Solon playing the Centaur, going up towards the top along with Hanskin's Shadow Demon. E-Skills is going to be playing the Morphling with Steel Kid on the support Lich. That leaves 8 Mother down bottom as the Brewmaster.
Well, I suppose for Coast, their lineup is going to be a case if they want to slow play this one again. They can't really commit too quickly, otherwise they'll just be going into a battle trance. So that's going to be something to keep in mind for them. But flip side of that coin, over for Goomba. Popping that smoke, we've got RNM on the Troll Warlord, QPE on the Slark, and they're going to go straight into Hanskin. They're starting this one off with a bang. The arrow, unfortunately, is going to thread the needle and miss everyone, but the slow of that Troll Warlord is there, and defensive disruption is going to at least buy themselves a few seconds, but they're still going to get first blood. Hanskin to fall. QPE picks up the first blood, and where were we? Chill on that Faceless Void. EDE on the Skywrath Mage, and finally, Yasha on the Mirana.
So even though Goomba get the first blood right there, which is fantastic for them, it really did show the weakness of their two supports and that they don't really support each other very well. Concussive shot into an arrow is pretty difficult to land. You're going to have to catch the enemies at a pretty good angle in order to land that, and that's not always going to happen. So it's a kill for Goomba, and it's going to set them off to a pretty fast start, but I don't know if these supports are going to be doing much aside from pulling and poking at the lane.
No, I'll intend to agree with that. I mean, they don't have the best hard support combination of, say, Shadow Demon into Mirana Arrow or Skywrath Mage and Earth Shaker. The combos like that get more kills since they have the ability to hard lock and stun, but we could be looking for a bit of a threat onto E-Skills here, but this kind of matchup, this kind of lane is going to be, in my mind, a bit of a close one. Troll can certainly brute force and man fight among some of the best of them if he gets these slows off, but in the early game, Troll does have the downside of being fairly squishy.
Yeah, I mean, he is going to not have the easiest lane up against the Morphling, but yeah, I think the lane overall should be a relatively even one. The rotations from both sides are going to be very hard to make happen, because again, the Mirana doesn't have anyone to set her up, so it's just going to be a free-handed arrow, which is always risky, and Lich Shadow Demon aren't going to make anything, or make much of anything happen either, so it is going to be a free-handed arrow, which will miss, kind of as predicted. Arman is going to get his farm, as will the Morphling, but I don't think anyone's going to die. Over on top lane, someone might go down. Solan's going to get bashed down by Chill. No time locks just yet, but just a little bit of right-click trading over on top. As in the bottom lane, it is going to be a Slark versus Brewmaster matchup. This isn't the most common of matchups, but Brewmaster usually has melee versus melee matchups down pat.
Yeah, the threat for Thunderclap is just too damn high. I mean, QPE, he's going to be hard-pressed before he gets level 6 to have any massive effect in this lane. Especially if he risks getting crit here. I mean, there's the Thunderclap. The damage is coming through. Arrow's going to fly in from the reverse angle, but 8 Mother doesn't get hit by it due to him playing so aggressively, and QPE forced out. This is basically a one lane for 8 Mother.
Yeah, Cube needs a couple more levels on the Slark in order to get things really going. At the very least, needs a point in Essence Shift so that in long exchanges like this, he will, at this point, come out ahead, but because he doesn't have that, he's able to escape, but at the same time, he's not able to get any sort of real pressure onto the Brewmaster. So Slark is going to need levels, and once he has that, he'll be in a little bit of a better circumstance. Fortunately for the Slark, he's not in too much trouble of dying, since the Brewmaster really lacks hard stuns, and even if 8 Mother cracks level 6, you can't really reliably split and kill off a Slark unless the Slark is level 5, and that probably shouldn't be happening.
Yeah, that much I'll agree with you there. It's going to be a bit of a one-sided lane, but even with Gashra taking down with the DD rune, 8 Mother can still just brute force. I mean, look at this. He comes forward, he crits. If he thunderclaps and keeps bashing away at Gashra, it could be a very rough time here for the Mirana, especially considering QP can't really deliver much in terms of damage at this point in time.
Alright, so the bottom lane is probably going to progress as we stated. The mid lane is actually being slightly won by the Morphling, who is going to end up being in a complete dual lane along with Seal Kid. This is going to put the lane firmly in control of Coast and Troll Warlord, even taking a pause to just stack a hard camp, which is going to be cleared off a little bit later on by probably himself, and he's probably not going to get that much out of this lane after all. So Coast making the rotation out with one of their supports, of course, is going to mean that they apply less pressure to the top lane, but I think it's worthwhile in order to secure E-Skills' farm.
Well, securing that farm will be all important, but if E-Skills can just continue to farm away like that, it's pretty much a set game. That's 2 out of 3 lanes that they have control, and even with these arrows flying freehand in by Gasha, none of them are landing. It's a bit of a rough start for them, but even with that first blood, considering if I look at top lane as well, and I see Chill up against Solan, and Solan on a Centaur, the Solentar War Runner making a return, this to me seems like it's Solan's lane. I mean, what can Chill really do up against this?
In a 1v1 matchup, Centaur is usually going to have it, and Faceless Void, although his 1v1 matchup isn't the weakest versus a Centaur, it could certainly be a lot better. He is very burstable, the Faceless Void, and getting into a fist fight with a Centaur is never really a good idea. In Dota, or really any other game, wouldn't recommend it. So I don't expect Chill to be getting that much, and well, Cube isn't getting much on the bottom lane. They're going to start a brawl over on mid. E-Skill's going to drop very low very quickly. The amplified magic damage of the Whirling Axe is hitting him very hard, and Troll Warlord takes home a kill. Now the arrow will fly. Seal Kid's going to walk right into it. Freehand arrow this time is going to land, and it will bring down the Lich. However, he bought out before he died, so not losing that much gold. But regardless, it's Goomba taking an early 3-0 advantage in this game, despite the fact that their lanes are doing poorly.
Quite the way to start out with a bang, but I'm sorry, just taking a quick look at the bottom lane. QPE getting threatened again by 8 Mother. 8 Mother getting pick of the litter in terms of farm. He's got a bottle, he's got brown boots. I mean, I'm honestly expecting a Blink Dagger up for 8 Mother, maybe around the 10-minute mark at this rate. Mid lane, once again, you got blows being traded by RNN. He's just continuing to throw those Whirling Axes, and just look how much damage that level, I think that's level 3? Yeah, level 3 in Whirling Axes does to E-skills.
Yeah, that does do a lot of damage relative to his health pool, but Morphling kind of asking for it by having so much in agility, so little in strength. They're going to set up for top lane once again. Time Walk goes already used from Goomba, although he does have another one. Hanskin taking quite a bit of tower damage. He will walk away from that. Over on mid lane, Armen this time can't really go as aggressively as he really wants to versus E-skills. The Whirling Axes are kind of difficult to land. You have to get the right spacing. And up against Lich, getting that right spacing involves you taking a Frost Blast, and that's not always a good trade.
No, that isn't, considering that Frost Blast can be the difference in turnaround kills or not. I mean, E-skills does have those points up into waveform, can threaten quite heavily, and you see using it defensively just to ensure he doesn't get caught out of position. But RNM will go up towards that top rune, gets the bounty rune, that's going to help him out. Bot lane, it goes the way of the Brewmaster, who gets a regeneration rune in his bottle when he's already full health and mana. QPE is about to have a very nasty time on this lane, even if he is level 6. I mean, sure, he can Shadow Dance, but just look at 8 Mother. He does not care.
8 Mother has a little bit of Shadow Dance regen in his bottle right now. I mean, this 8 Mother Brewmaster is absolutely running this lane, and that's kind of to be expected. Slark isn't really the best at controlling the lane if he can't jump in for the kills, and he can't. They're going for mid lane. Seal Kid taking quite a bit of damage from the Arcane Bolts, but Armen in tower range, he's going to drop very low as well. Arrow's going to fly, will whiff onto everyone. E-skills waiting for the waveform, will go forward for Armen, kill off the Troll Warlord. Now Gasha as well as ED taking quite a bit of damage. Morphling not going to be able to kill off Scout Ranger, the poison does it, and now Gasha's will also go down. Coast tie it up. It's a bloodbath over in the mid lane, and the side lanes have had pretty much no action. It's kind of weird.
And 8 Mother still is just continuing to free farm. I cannot stress how bad that is for Goomba at this point. A free farming 8 Mother is not a good thing. Even with those points up in Essence Shift now where QPE can poke and prod, I just don't see this working out for Goomba in the long run. I mean, we look at the graph. What was a 500 lead is a rapid downward slide. That is a graph right there.
And experience is going pretty much the exact same way as that gold, as all the lanes are pretty much on lockdown for Coast. As long as they don't get careless and start giving up kills, then they should be just fine if they keep the status quo. It's going to be difficult because Goomba are going to be very aggressively looking for those rotations, but the mid lane tower is already being pushed by RMN. Using the Battle Trance will force out the fortification. E-skills, not really too healthy. He does have a bottle on its way, but unfortunately, bottle on its way doesn't actually do anything, and Morphling is going to be forced to just chill while his tower gets destroyed.
In the meantime, 8 Mother does, of course, get harassed fairly well, but he's got that bottle. He's just going to heal himself back up to effectively full with that combined with a salve. So I'm looking for a fight from 8 Mother in the foreseeable future. I mean, he does have the Primal Split ready to go. He even helped himself to a bounty room now, so he's going to have a full bottle again once more. So as we stand, 8 Mother, when is he going to join the fights, do you think?
Well, he's having such an easy time on the bottom lane that you can't really blame him if he wants to sit back and farm for another 1100 gold and try to get a Blink Dagger. He'll get that one very quickly, and well, top lane, Solon's going to get Chronosphered, mid Stomp, and Hanskin's going to be brought down very quickly by Chill and Skywrath Mage. Now they're going to try to go for Solon. They can't really get this kill. Stampede will get him out of harm's way, but RMN over in the mid lane, ooh, Invis Rune coming in big for him. He's going to survive, and he will maybe get his bottle refilled by Cube. No, it's not going to happen, but they're still going on top lane, actually. Stampede now being used, try to go aggressive. 8 Mother's made his first rotation, and it's not going to do a single thing.
Why am I getting shades of Game 2?
No. Please no.
Just something sitting in the back of my mind right now. It's Chill. He's going to continue farming up. He does have his treads even, and what do you think we're going to see item-wise on the board? Do you think it's just going to be the standard Maelstrom kind of build?
Yeah, probably. There's no real reason to go for anything else. Like, if he was really getting shut down, then, you know, maybe try to pick up a Poor Man's Shield and stuff like that. But he's having a decent enough time, so maybe Mask of Madness Maelstrom is going to be the order of business. It'll help him fight when he needs to be fighting. And, you know, it's a lot of attack speed from Battle Trance, so maybe you don't even go for the Mask of Madness. Maybe you just go straight damage.
Well, straight damage could work. Yeah, I could see that being the right route, considering Mask of Madness is more liable to get him killed in this game than not. But we're going to go for the jump in on Solon. The damage is being thrown through. QP will have a miss the connection with the pounce, but it doesn't matter. The bashes come through from Chill, completely derailing the opportunity to hoof stomp and run away. But an easy kill going the way of Goomba.
You wouldn't really expect to see the Slark roaming around like that. He usually is more content to stay in the lanes and dominate where he is at, but that's not really on the table with 8 Mother. That's his plan. That's what the Brewmaster is going to be doing. He's probably not going to leave until he gets his Blink Dagger, again, because the first rotation utterly failed. Top lane's being pushed once again by Battle Trance, and it's not going to be defended at all by Coast. This tower's actually probably going to go down. Chill, Cube, and Edie don't have the most tower destruction, but with no one here, it's going to be an easy destruction of a tier 1, and Goomba, with 2 kills in the lead, and the tower going the way as well, is feeling pretty good in this game.
They're getting some comfort here, but I'll point this out. Goomba have to really win before the 35-minute mark. After that, RNM will fall off in terms of effectiveness if he gets locked down or the Morphling comes online. By Morphling comes online, I mean possibly Shotgun. I mean, that would certainly help out to no end, but RNM, Trollwaller doesn't really have the best stat growth. I mean, 2.2 strength per level, 1 mana per level, or 1 int per level even, and 2.75 agility per level. He doesn't have that stat gain that a late game hard carry does normally, and nor does he generally have the survivability outside of a BKB.
So that just happened. Hanskin was trying to kill off Murano with Shadow Poison, but he couldn't quite get in range to attack her without going into tower range, so he just ate a couple tower shots, and then Slark came in and killed him with an arrow. That was... We'll pretend that didn't happen, because that was, quite frankly, pretty embarrassing for the Shadow Demon.
I don't know about this anymore. I'm losing my sanity. 8 Mother, however, does have himself a Blink Dagger to give us some sense of normality. Long range arrow going to fly through, not going to impact this time. But it seems to be a comfortable position here that Goomba are slowly starting to ramp up the pressure with.
Yeah, and they have a Troll Warlord now with the Hand of Midas. Not like he needed more attack speed, but getting that guaranteed farm is going to be incredibly useful. Cube and 8 Mother going to duke it out. Invis Rune being secured by the Slark, so he could bail out if he wants to, or go for a potential kill onto a weak hero such as the Shadow Demon. Disruption is going to keep him for the most part safe, and the Slark will think better of it. But Hand of Midas onto the Troll Warlord, plus Hand of Midas on Faceless Void. Suddenly, what you said before about the Morphling being the most dominant hero on the map is no longer the case with this much late game investment from Goomba. I mean, these two heroes, Faceless Void and Troll, can just tear shit up in the late game if you let them get to that stage.
That's a big if, though. I mean, sure, they're playing a more late game kind of style with these Midas, but the Midas in the early game, if they get ganked heavily, it can lose its effectiveness to no end. Now we get the Moonlight Shadow. Where are we looking fight-wise? We've got a Stampede coming out from the Centaur. They're going on that bottom lane. They want to try to bring down the Slark. Can the Shadow Poison connect? No, it won't, and that won't be enough to kill on its own. The one stack didn't have enough damage. If that second one would have hit, it certainly would have, though.
Yeah, Cube barely manages to survive off of that, and there aren't many heroes that could slip away from a Blinking Centaur, but Slark at this point is one of them with the amount of regeneration he gets from the Shadow Dance, so he's going to dodge death over on the bottom lane, and now even wrap around and try to go for Hanskin, who actually doesn't have enough mana for a disruption. Burn the last of his mana on a Shadow Poison. Once again, the Slark is going to miss, though, and well, Hanskin's going to TP out. Easy peasy for him, and they used Battle Trance for that one as well, not getting anything, as Goomba's Slark has been, I mean, he's alive still. He hasn't died a single time, but the pounces haven't really been on point.
No, they haven't, and that's quite the concern in many an opinion, considering, but towers will start to be pressured here by RNM, starting to chip away at that middle one with, of course, Battle Trance coming up in 6 seconds. So this could easily be a tier 1 if they are left alone to their own devices. But no, Seal Kid will be there to try to cause all manner of havoc. I mean, he comes in. Does he have his Chain Frost yet? Yes, he does. He's got his all-important level 6. So the next few fights could be quite the tale to tell, considering if a Chronosphere goes wrong, perhaps a Chain Frost can work out to quite the extent. But Chill is continuing just to free farm completely. How many Midases do we have active on this map? I count 2, maybe 3 potentially coming up for Goomba. There is 1 also on the Morphling for Coast, and well, this is Midas Gaming, so we could be in for the long haul.
Yeah, so I mean, even the team, even the players were complaining about long games, but yet here they are going for
playing
all
the
these
long
hands
game.
of
Yeah,
what was
well,
that?
Midas is. You said that here they are in the long game when they were complaining about long games. They invested in the long game kind of play with the Midases. So who knows? Who knows? We do get smoke popped by Coast now. They could be lurking around. Who would they find in the jungle, though? R&M is relatively low health, but they're going to try to go into QPE instead. All the blinks. No one gets the right direction, and QPE is well enough away and safe with a blink dagger of his own.
Slark is, as per usual, a very slippery hero, and killing him off, even if they did get initiation, would have been a little bit close. I think the burst damage would have been enough between the Hoof Stomp, Double Edge, Clap, and the Shadow Poison, but still, if you don't catch him, you're not going to kill him, and, well, now they might catch him as they're going to completely surround the middle lane. Moonlight Shadow is out, and Edie's going to run straight into E-Skills. Nothing the Morphling can really do about this, as he's just going to let that hero go. He doesn't know about this hand skin. Also in the area, has a sentry, he's going to drop it in the reveal cube. There's the disruption, the arrow's going to fly through, narrowly dodging it is Handskin, but they're going to go for Gesha instead. He's going to survive narrowly, Solan's not going to have enough damage. Now Goomba's Slark is once again trying to go on the escape. Shoutyman will pick him off. Here comes the Chronosphere though, going to land onto 3. Is there any follow-up for this one? Battle Trance is out and Seal Kid is going to be brought down, as will Solan. E-Skills will slip away, not enough damage to kill him off as well, but here comes 8 Mother. With the Blink Clap Split, he's going to go straight for the Scarith Mage and wait for him in from E-Skills. Scarith Mage is going to hit the deck first. Now the Faceless Void up into the air, they're going to try to go for Arman. 4 stacks of Shadow Poison on him will bring him down very low, but it's not going to be enough to kill him. Time Walk out from the Faceless Void. That is a level 4 skill, and he will secure his escape from that one. Was that a 2-for-2 trade after all is said and done? It might be a little bit more, as Gash is going to throw up an arrow onto 8 Mother. Will dodge it first, and Chill, with another Time Walk available, might think about going in, but he doesn't actually have that much support to back him up.
No, he doesn't, but in comes the TP from that Slark. The Slark could be the one to seal the deal here, considering, but the blink pounce misses, and now in comes the turnaround. Solan, Double Edge, that's going to be the end of that one. So this extended fight in the mid lane, 3-for-2.
Alright, so fight recap, of course, not going to be helpful because it never is. Disruption onto the Scarith Mage. They're going to jump on him with everything they got, laying down a Mystic Flare, doing some pretty good damage to 8 Mother, but it's certainly not enough. Scarith Mage, not a tanky hero to withstand so many strength heroes jumping on him, and this is Coast's early mid-game kicking into gear, and this is when Goomba are going to be like, damn, we probably shouldn't have spent all this money on Hands of Midas, because it's not these fights aren't going that great for us, although, to be fair, they were kind of just going in one at a time, and that's never a good strategy.
No, it isn't, but Mask of Madness now available for that Faceless Void after a Midas, so he's got some quite ferocious attack speed. Thing is, he needs some damage. He really does need the damage. Hell, he even needs a BKB when you consider Chain Frost, Waveform, Primal Split, Thunderclap. There is just so many magical control abilities that BKB will be necessary for in this game.
Yeah, and that requires quite a bit of time, even with the Hand of Midas, to get an item like that up. Unless he gets a whole bunch more kills. I mean, he already dropped a Chronosphere a couple of times and is 2-0-3, got 2 kills over on mid lane. I don't know if he took both of those kills, but he definitely got them for his team. So Faceless Void, even though he needs quite a bit more, he's still doing pretty well, as long as he keeps up with this pace of farm. That being said, Coast are leading in the Morphling. He has Hand of Midas as well, and he already has a Yasha, just pretty much just farming faster, as Morphling generally does with Waveform clearing. It's something that Faceless Void does not have. So Morphling is going to be on top, and Brewmaster not too far behind. Still, this game is remarkably even. In fact, the gold advantage and experience advantage is just about at 0.
Well, E-Skills might be in some trouble here as in comes Chill with that Chronosphere and the Battle Trance. R&M is coming in the front lines as well. Can they bring him down? I don't think so. Not with that Stampede. Try catching him now. They do catch him with the Whirling Axes, but they might actually finish him off there, especially with that Mystic Flare commit. Solan comes in as well, takes the pounce, in a lot of trouble. He'll get caught by a defensive disruption, trying to buy him some time, but Hanskin, nope, not going to be able to save his friend this time. Purge onto R&M. He needs to TP out, will successfully do so, and now in comes 8 Mother as well as Seal Kid. They're looking for whatever they can to pick up in terms of exchanges, but it's a 2-for-nothing.
And that's the best exchange that Goomba could ask for at this stage. They didn't actually invest too much into it. Using a Chronosphere is no big deal when you're going to clean up like that. Killing off a core Morphling who's on top of the last hitting chart is going to be pretty much always worthwhile, and when you get a Centaur on top of that, well, that's just amazing for the Goomba side. They're going to be doing some pretty heavy damage moving forward, and that's the type of kill streak that I'm talking about for Chill. Now 304 on him. He's sitting on 1900 gold, was just recently at like 3 digits, so he's gotten himself quite a bit of cash, and the BKB, if it is going to be the next item, is going to come up at a relatively quick pace, although I think with the amount of aggression that Goomba are currently applying to Coast and the amount of farm that Chill's getting, he might be inclined to just go straight damage and pick up a Maelstrom.
A straight Maelstrom could work out, certainly, but I wonder if that's really the right choice, considering a straight Maelstrom would give you a good amount of damage, but you've got to consider survivability in this case. It has to be said.
Well, you know what they say about the best defense. Maybe.
It's a good offense,
Yeah.
but not in this case, no.
I mean, sometimes it's the case, but definitely it's not going to be the end-all. That's always seen Mask of Madness on Faceless Void, kind of, so I don't know. But it's definitely in the pipeline for the Faceless Void, or it should be. Otherwise, he's just asking to lose the game. They're going to set up over on bottom. They're going to battle trance down this tower as much as they can, but here comes the Centaur. Has an easy two-man hoof stomp, unless he's not the one who opens. He's going to blink forward and get a one-man into RMN, but the pounce is there for Cube. Going to put into the bubble. RMN's still alive with whirling axes. Mischance is going to give him a lot of survivability. Now they're going to chase down Solon. At the same time, they're going up on top lane. Lich is going to go down. That's 2 down for Coast. Might even be a little bit more as Hanskin's being chased down by RMN. Gets bashed up, and he's going to be torn to shreds by this troll. Cube and RMN cleaning house over on this bottom lane. Brewmaster dropping very low, but he did get the split out up on top. He will kill off one support hero and throw the Faceless Void up into the air. Can he get anything else? Gasha does have an arrow available soon enough. Is he going to blind fire this one? Try to nail the Brewmaster. He's running like he wants to do it. There it goes, and it looks like it will, just barely miss 8 Mother. That would have been pretty sick, but either way, it's a 1-for-3 trade. Goomba taking fights all around the map, and I think on the bottom lane, it's really the Shadow Demon who messed up that initiation.
He put that extra disruption up that wasn't needed in the end, and the Double Edge would have been able to finish the deal near enough, but just because of that, the Troll Warlord and the Slark just chewed everyone in half. Still, you do have E-Skills lurking around here. He did TP to respond, but the waveform was dodged by the Blink Dagger of the Slark, so not as easy to catch a Slark as you may think.
And it is going to be a 4th Hand of Midas in this game as Gasha picks up his as well. So all these heroes from Goomba are going to be scaling really hard into the late game. Unfortunately for Skywrath Mage, he's going to be left behind. So poor him, and Slark is the same way. Although Slark is getting quite a bit of gold through other ways, mostly just killing things. And that's usually a pretty good way of getting gold in these types of games. So Goomba are going to be very steadily farming the map, even though they may lose map control in the future. They might have their Skywrath Mage jumped right here. It's smoke up from both the Lich and Shadow Demon, though those two heroes don't really have the most offensive capabilities. When you're going for a Skywrath Mage, you don't really need that much, and he's going to get Chain Frosted. However, the Chain Frost will not bounce favorably. It's going to be mostly wasted. Now the Moonlight Shadow's out. Edie is going to get some backup from Cube, so he's going to lose his life, but Hanskin's going to lose his life as well. Most likely Cube is going to get away. No, it's going to be a Chronosphere denying everyone on Coast their escape. Solon's going to get worked down. Not enough damage to kill him off because Chill, again, doesn't have that much. Now gets a Maelstrom delivered to him. That was kind of unfortunate, but it is a kill on the Shadow Demon in exchange for Skywrath Mage. Overall an even exchange, but it may not be an even exchange if bottom lane there's more fighting. They're not going to fight it out.
They were poking and prodding each other, but E-Skills, he's not going to overcommit like that. Going to TP back to base and just be a little bit more safe than when he can be. But Pounce, once again, misses from QP. Solon now has a DD rune. That's something you have to respect. You cannot overextend on a DD Centaur, not by halves.
Yeah, double damage calculates off of your base value and your strength. And when you're working with 3.8 strength gain, that means you're going to be hitting really damn hard. So Solon is going to be, for a small portion, the most deadly hero on the map, but not going to last for very long. As he is going to go for what looks like a pipe for the team. I don't really know about this. Skywrath Mage is certainly deadly. Slark magic damage is decent, but that's about it. Faceless Void and Troll are almost purely physical.
Well, the physical damage is a big worry, but because they are so heavy on the physical damage, do items like a Crimson Guard start to become higher on your merit list?
When you're talking about heroes like Slark who steal your agility and attack faster and battle trance, Crimson Guard is pretty much the best item you could ask for.
Crimson Guard will help out the team to no end, but it seems Coast are going to try to help themselves to Roshan. We do have arrows flying through, does impact on Hanskin, but there's no follow-up to this one. It's going to be a free Roshan the way of Coast. Well, pseudo free. The top tier 2 getting hammered down by Chill. That battle trance just doing work, and here comes the TPs to defend this. There is a Shadow Demon. Forces the Chronosphere, but not going to get anything of this, wisely cancelling the TP.
Yeah, it's going to be at the end a Chronosphere and a Roshan in exchange for a tier 2 tower. I don't know if Coast can punish this Chronosphere usage. It's not the longest cooldown in the world. 100 seconds is usually pretty manageable, and well, maybe if Coast just group up and try to push the mid lane, they could get something off of this timing, but otherwise Goomba are going to be okay with the fact that they made that exchange. Are Coast going to do that? It looks like they're thinking about it. They're kind of mobilizing towards the mid lane. but it's going to be a tough fight for them regardless, especially since top lane Chill is pushing that one out, and E-Skills is here to mess with the Faceless Void, but the Morphling can't really do that much. They're going to Stampede out and look for someone. They're going to
Get baited out by an illusion.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Well played.
Well, illusion down, guys, and now Hanskin's going to jump by Cube. He's going to be forced to run away into the Shadow Dance. Here comes the Troll Warlord. He has Sanjin Yasha, but he doesn't have BKB, so he's going to get stunned up. Moonlight Shadow's there. They really have no detection. Coast, oh, they messed up big over here. They don't have a Chronosphere to work with, but they're still working pretty well. Now E-Skill's going to attack with an arrow. He has an Aegis, and the Mystic Flare is going to drop onto E-Skills. There goes the Aegis. Hanskin being chased down by Chill, who's still going to go for this one yet. One more hit, guys. No, turn around. Oh, man. He's going to drop to Cube. In the meantime, the Troll Warlord going to be 1v4ing. Not a good place to be as any hero. That's going to be a 1-for-2 trade as the Aegis was picked off. Coast, they still have enough to go for this, though, as their 4 heroes are still very healthy. Faceless Void, Chronosphere up in 7 seconds, and if Coast get clipped by this one, that could be disastrous, even without the Troll Warlord attack speed. I think they should back off. Instead, they're going to go right back in. Cube does not have a Shadow Dance available. He will pounce out of there and be just fine for now. Now Chill's going to drop the Chronosphere, only landing onto 2. He might get sent up into the air. No, the Storm Pan is actually frozen the Chronosphere with him. That's going to be the death of the Centaur. Here comes the Troll once again. He's going to try to bash down the Storm Pan, and now the Earth one, the only one to survive. Is there any lucky bashes with 2 heroes with bash going to town? I don't think this Earth Pan is going to escape, but 8 Mother himself will. He's going to blink out of there straight away, and, well, the Whirling Axes are there. He is spotted out. The stun is going to be there. It's actually the Troll Warlord to get the kill in the end. Tower did survive, and it will be denied. Goomba, they stall for long enough so that they get the Chronosphere, and it turns out to be all the difference.
The Chronosphere does make a lot of work, though, especially when you've got 2 bashing heroes on 1 target. I mean, the Earth Panda, I'm surprised that survived until the end of its duration, but just almost escaping with that Brewmaster did 8 Mother, and just slightly concerning when you consider they had that fight handily until the Void showed up. That Void, he's got a lot more than what everyone expects. He's got Mask of Madness into Maelstrom, and there is Battle Trance. His attack speed is through the damn roof, and now on top of all of this, he has himself a BKB.
So Chill is absolutely terrifying right now. He's on the top of the net worth chart. If you get caught in a Chronosphere, I don't know if anyone on Coast can survive that. Maybe the Centaur will be able to, but actually the Brewmaster has even more HP and more armor than the Centaurs, so, or a little bit less armor, but Brewmaster might be able to survive as well. Evasion not gonna, oh wait, no. Evasion does help you now, right? Since Chronosphere doesn't turn off that anymore?
Yes, that's correct.
Alright, so Brewmaster most certainly going to survive that, but everyone else, they're pretty much screwed, so Faceless Void, incredibly dangerous, especially if he has a little bit of backup. Solan's going to rotate down to the bottom lane, jump forward for a stomp onto the Skywrath Mage. That's going to be 1 dead bird. Now Cube going to look to fight this one out with Solan. Has Hanskin to worry about right behind him. Into the Shadow Dance, Slark goes. There's the Chronosphere, though. Onto 2. Hanskin is going to be the unlucky recipient of a whole bunch of damage, and he will survive for a little bit longer because of the Drunken Haze. In the meantime, RMN chasing after the Brewmaster. He's going to put a lot of damage onto him and not take much in return. Now Chill going to jump forward. Wants Solan. Chain Frost is going to be thrown. Will not bounce a single damn time. Solan will go down as E-Skills trying to go after this Slark is not going to get that kill, and now Slark regenerating into the trees. It's still the BKB Faceless Void wanting to fight this one out, but it's a 2-for-1 so far. Aim either going to re-engage, has an ultimate to use, and he's going to deploy it right now, trying to go for Chill, who's out of mana, so he can't time walk out of here. This should be the death of the Faceless Void if they have enough damage, and it looks like they do. Slark is back in, though, and he's gone for a kill on the Lich. That's about as much as he can do. He has to back off for a little bit more mana. Armen trying to duel up against the Brewmaster, Brewlings, plus E-Skills, who's still alive in this Morphling, but he's going to get hit with the Silence as well as the Arcane Bolt, Mystic Flare, and he walks right into it. 8 Mother back into his main form, and he's going to be cleaned up as well. That was a 5-for-1 trade. Goomba getting so much value out of that fight. Skywrath Mage respawning and then dropping the Mystic Flare, killing off the Morphling, plus Cube getting a little bit of breathing room as Slark. Not the cleanest fight for Coast, and it's going to cost them big.
Indeed it does. That kind of turnaround, I mean, a full 5-man wipe, for Christ's sake. That's a very tall order to recover from. Sure, it wasn't a massive amount of golden experience swing when we looked at the fight recap, but it's enough. And you've got to consider, you've still got QPE. He's hunting and killing, and he's going to find himself a Hanskin. I mean, can Hanskin survive this one? There's the disruption to buy some time. But the double-edged combo misses, unfortunately. The Hoof Stomp isn't there. QPE is still taking a large amount of damage, though, and will fall just to the Shadow Poisons and the amplification of Hanskin. So, overzealous in terms of his fighting potential.
Maybe if the Slark had full mana, he would be able to get the kill and run away, but you know, Slark kind of feeling battle high that he's like, oh yeah, I just cleaned house on the bottom lane, I'm going to be able to take out the rest of the world. Not the case when you don't have any mana, and turns out mana is pretty good in this game, so Slark being punished by his over-aggression is going to give a free one over to Coast, but even with that, it's like they're still in such a fantastic position right now. Faceless Void is well on his way to his Mjolnir, even more attack speed, not like he needs it. Troll Warlord is going to get a BKB of his own, and once that happens, Coast, they just have to run and hope that the Troll Warlord doesn't get many good bashes.
Well, with the BKB up for the Troll Warlord now, running away from him is the main thing they can do. I mean, that plus Chrono plus God knows what else. I mean, you can't really fight a 5v5 against Goomba at this point, and Goomba have the advantage. If they can push it, that's going to be golden. But end of the day, it is a 10,000 gold lead for Goomba, as well as a 12,000 near enough experience lead.
Goomba feeling very comfortable in this game. In fact, Chill and Edie, they're going to roam around as a duo, look for whoever they could find, and they're fortunately going to find 2 players. That's pretty good. E-Skill's going to get Chronosphered into the Mystic Flare. Goodbye, Morphling. Handskin, unfortunately, a little bit too far away for the disruption. It's an easy kill there, and they even use Battle Trance to kill him off a little bit faster. So they're not going to be able to get much off of this, as bottom lane has 2 towers available. They should make their rotation down there, but hell, getting a kill on the Morphling at any stage of the game is going to be incredibly worth it, especially when your Faceless Void is the one to do the job.
Oh, look at the move speed right now of RNM. He is huge, and now he's got a Chain Frost bouncing around, but the BKB pops. Seal Kid gonna just get hack slashed and chopped to pieces. But in comes Solon on that centaur, trying to buy some time, but this BKB, it's a 10-second duration. He's hacking, slashing, and chopping everyone in half. Gets 2 kills, and even got Handskin going to be going down to the Arcane Bolts of EDE. They're going to defensively disrupt himself, but there is no escape from this. He will be cleaned up, as with the rest of Coast. The only one still standing is Solon, and he's going to be going toe-to-toe with Chill, who doesn't have a Chronosphere for a good 30 seconds, but it doesn't matter. They're going to lose a tier 1 on that bottom lane, and most likely the tier 2 as well. Hell, they're instead going to poke at Roshan, but he's not up for quite a while yet.
Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate. If they just grouped up and went bottom lane, then they could have easily cleaned that one out as well, but at the end of the day, it's them taking a whole bunch of huge wins. They could have gotten a slightly larger win, but can't be too greedy in these types of situations. They're still getting pretty much the entire map and anything they could possibly want that's available to them. Faceless Void has another Chronosphere. I don't know if he could kill off E-Skills by himself, though. It's going to be really close, but damn if he's not going to try. The damage, it's pretty high. Solon can't do anything to help out. Here comes a Troll Warlord, add a little bit of damage. That's the Morphling down. Stomp is going to land, but Cube is in right from the back, and Solon can't go anywhere. Blink Dagger not available to him. He's going to turn around for a double edge just because he can. That's the death of 2 heroes up on top, as RMN is the one to claim them both, although Chill is the one to do the heavy lifting. Another 2 kill for Goomba, and now I think it's about time to look towards the high ground. Battle Trance will be up soon, as its cooldown is very manageable, 30 seconds. Base of Coast is in some pretty deep trouble. No Chronosphere, but still, I don't think they need it.
No, even without Chrono, they can just high ground right now. The Battle Trance will be enough to shred this tower. They're just going to stack up the potential, but no, in comes the buyback. Though an immediate silence onto 8 Mother, and he's not going to be able to Primal Split just off the good reactions of EDE on the Skywrath there. He'll, however, pay for it with his life. Solon, though, will most likely get chopped to pieces if he isn't careful. You've got Seal Kid looking to come forward with the Chain Frost, but he won't find a good one at this rate. Just look at how quick the retreat is from RNM and Chill. They shouldn't get caught out of position too heavily here, but there is the buyback Primal Split, of course, available for 8 Mother. He still can fight fairly easily, but now comes the turnaround. Does get that good level of mitigation up, but do we have a BKB? He needs that BKB up, but it's got a 40-second cooldown. Double Edge comes through, and the Thunderclap. One big right-click coming through from the Troll Warlord, and that's a pretty damn big kill, killing off the Troll.
Yeah, it's a much-needed kill for Coast. The Troll Warlord unfortunately doesn't have the mobility that the Faceless Void does, so he does go down in the end, but I mean, Coast taking 1 kill like that isn't going to be enough to dig them out of this hole. They need a whole bunch more, and I don't know if they could find it just because Goomba, they have so much momentum, and as long as there's a Chronosphere on the table, Chill's going to be the most fearsome hero on the map. Trying to go for Seal Kid, 3 hits and no bashes. That kind of sucks, but Faceless Void is unfortunately not going to get that kill. Man, if only he had more attack speed, man. It would have been so easy for him.
Yeah, if only he had more attack speed.
Butterfly incoming.
Yep. Well, here comes the Stampede. They're going to look for some kills, trying to bring down QPE, but we get a Chrono on the backlines. Hanskin just gets hacked to pieces by Chill. But do we see any potential for a turnaround? 8 Mother did get stunned out by a good duration arrow, but QPE couldn't turn around and capitalize on it. Then again, in comes the Blink Dax. Oh, Solon looking for it, but blink away quite wisely there by QPE.
And now with Chronosphere down, Goomba are going to be less inclined to go for this fight, although off of an arrow, they're going to go for it anyway. They should go for it. Blink forward from 8 Mother, and everyone is going to blink out, so no one's going to have any part of that. Actually, no, they blinked forward for Solon. Cube wants in, but no, they're all going to jump to the low ground. The mobility in this game is just insane, and Gasha is also going to escape with the TP. The Hand of Midas Mirana is wielding a mech and an ultimate orb, and she actually has a remarkable amount of mana in order to cast all of these items and skills, so it's not the worst Mirana build in the world, but still with the new mech, I wouldn't really recommend it all the time. When you're getting this much farm and you have an ultimate orb to get you that extra intelligence, it's going to be perfectly worth it.
It is. Well, everyone's respawning now for Coast. I'm wondering where we're going to see the next bit of action, since it's sort of fallen off in terms of kills per minute here.
Yeah, 45 in a 35-minute game need more than that, guys. We're probably going to see an attempt at Roshan soon enough. Honestly, I don't know if Goomba need more than the Troll Warlord. Even Faceless Void could probably do it solo. He has the lifesteal to do it, and I mean, what can Coast do about that? It's going to be prime hunting grounds for Brewmaster and Centaur and a Chain Frost, but if they get hit with the Chronosphere, they're just completely screwed.
I sort of have to ask, did you just see what item 8 Mother picked up?
Really? That was not right now?
That was just now.
That's 5, right?
That's 5.
6.
That's 6.
Hanskin has one too. He got that one a lot earlier though.
What in Divinity's Edge is going on?
Yo, gold is so important in this game. You just got to get as much of it as you can. Make bank. Make smart investments. 8 Mother is going to jump forward and try to split onto Edie. It's not really going to work out. Now the Chronosphere is there, and Hanskin's going to get demolished. I don't think they can bring down these Brewlings. They're not even going to freaking try. But what? Really? Coast, you got to be bullshitting me right now. Come on.
God damn it, guys. I'm going to sit these boys down after this game and have a sane discussion with them.
And look what's in Seal Kid's stash. Yo, late game Dota. They're not going to be out farmed. They're just not going to let it happen. It's impossible, literally impossible for that to happen. This is hilarious. Terrible, but hilarious.
I have to say it. It's very rare I will ever talk in chat to a team, but boys, come on.
Well, I mean, this is obviously a conscious choice by them, because they're kind of just getting outmaneuvered at every single turn. And I mean, Hand of Midas, Faceless Void, Troll Warlord, I could buy that. Mirana as well. I mean, that's fantastic. Morphling, it's good too, but at a certain point, they're just dicking around. And if you're going to be dicking around, come on, get 5 Necro Books, because that is hilarious, but it also can win you the game.
Don't give them that idea.
It's so much better than 5 Midases. Come on. You could win games off of 5 Necro Books.
Roshan has fallen to the Radiant.
Coast get all my hate right now.
Radiant's top tower.
Coast
Yeah.
get every bit of my hate right now.
Me too. It's probably not as much as yours, but I mean, if you're going to go for all 5 heroes going the same item, make it a better item.
I suppose late game secured. If
Oh,
they
yeah.
actually
You
win
gotta
this
watch out
one
for the
now,
6-slotted Lich.
if they actually win this one now, I don't know. In they go.
Initiate.
They're going to try on QPE, but can they finish him off? I don't think they can. The Shadow Dance is there. Now comes the turnaround. Solon could be in a lot of trouble here. Does eat quite a few right clicks, but there is no stun. There is no Abyssal Blade or Basher for QPE. At least not yet. But we get that MKB now up for the Troll Warlord. If he gets on a target, someone, somewhere, is going to die. And, oh, blink away. Did he blink down? Yes, he did. 8 Mother, safe for now.
Alright, so Goomba, knowing that Coast should have all of the Hands of Midas, you know that they have to go for some action, otherwise late game is going to be a lot more difficult than it should be. Still pretty easy, I would say, but they're going to turn around and demolish Hanskin. Chain Frost is out, Chill with the BKB is going to be taking no damage, and Seal Kid actually walking right into that. The TP out is not going to work against the Faceless Void. Now Solon also spotted out. Arrow is going to fly wide. Ron actually doesn't have any support for this one, but it is 2 support kills going the way of Goomba as the rest of the heroes pushing out through all the other lanes as well. Bottom lane pushing towards the Dire. Now they're going to double jump onto Chill, but he's going to backtrack both of those spells. And now he can turn around and just kill everybody, but he's running for some reason. Turn around, Chill. Get in there. Don't be a coward. He's not going to fight up against these two, even though he probably could have gotten away with it. He has the Aegis. Now blink forward from Solon. They're going to go for round 2 onto Chill. Now he has a little bit of support with the Mystic Flare, dropping Solon very, very low, but the pipe is there. The Aegis is going to pop, and here comes the Brewmaster. Centaur gets out of there alive, and now Chill going to try to fight up against the Brewmaster, but Edie gives his life in exchange. The Brewmaster's still running wild. He's going to try to go for this Mirana. I don't know if he can get this kill as Cube now in the area along with Chill is going to be chasing down the Earth Bruling. In the meantime, the main base, Arman will get a tower denied for him, but he's going to go aggressive onto Soul, and he should be able to get this kill with all the bashes he has. There he goes. Blink forward from Cube, going to chase after that 8-Mother Brewmaster on the run, but Arman's still just going to town on these Raxes, not even moving. He's going to suicide them, and it will not be enough. 10 HP. The Raxes survive. Cube, jump in there and tap it once. It'll be, there we go. Cube's going to seal the deal, get put into a bubble as he leaps out, but he's going to be just fine. Shadow Dance. In fact, he's going to turn around and try to go for Handskin. No, he's going to think better of it. 8-Mother's going to slow him down a little bit, but here comes Chill. Chronosphere is going to land onto 2, actually onto 3. No, Morphling doesn't walk into it. Handskin's going to get demolished, and now Seal Kid's in a little bit of trouble as well. Chill, looking for 8-Mother, instead is going to decide to back off in the end, but Rax is taken, or the melee Rax taken, which is the important one. And Goomba, they've taken a nice advantage in order to punish the greedy type of item builds coming out from Coast.
You can actually use the word greedy. This isn't greedy. This makes Scrooge McDuck look like poverty.
I would like to see them jump into a giant pile of Hands of Midas. That would be hilarious.
I'm pretty sure you could find someone to Photoshop that for you. I'm really sure you can.
That sounds like a lot of work, though, and I don't really like doing work, so I'm not going to do that. We'll just use our imagination.
In the meantime, we have a shotgun available for at least the Morphling of Coast. I mean, E-Skills is still looking to fight this. The only Midas that I would actually call legitimate on the side of Coast.
Yeah, I mean, any of the other heroes, I've seen Brewmasters with Hands of Midas before. Those were safe lane Brewmasters that got off to a fantastic start, and then they got their Blink Dagger by 12 minutes or something like that, but definitely the exception, not the rule. Legit Hand of Midas from Morphling is going to give him a shotgun, as you said, and it's going to be incredibly useful, mostly just for the ethereal form. When you're dealing with Faceless Void, Slark, and a Troll, being immune to all that right-click is going to be incredibly useful.
Or bursting down, say, the Mirana or the Skywrath to take the threat of, say, a Mystic Flare off the table, but arrows continuing to fly through, and just take a look. They're just going to go for Handskin once more. Ancient Seal, dead. There's no way that Shadow Demon survives. And will get the Moonlight Shadow as well, so where's the next fight going to break out? I mean, they have that kind of damage potential. All of Coast are basically walking piggy banks. Arrows will continue to fly through. This time we'll thread the needle completely. Not going to impact on anyone, nowhere near anyone, in fact. And QPE hunting. Oh, he sees Solon. That could be a very nice one. I mean, Centaur flanks fry up very nicely for breakfast, but not exactly the easiest thing to find, as they're just going to force the retreat and maybe look to fight at the tier 3.
So if Centaurs are half human, is that like half cannibalism?
Not my problem.
Okay. Yeah, we'll let the vegans and vegetarians of the world worry about that. Not going to be up to us to determine. Then Roshan, well, he's going to respawn in 4 minutes. The Aegis was used by Goomba. Not the best usage of it, but hell, I mean, they're so far ahead. And it looks like, unlike Coast in the last game, they're going to actually try to end the game. I mean, 20k plus in both Golden Experience, it's hard to overcome that. And Coast, they have a Morphling to do it, but at this point, they're just way too much bashing. Even Arman just going to pop the BKB just for shits and giggles. Now Chill going to jump in, try to go for 8-Mother. He has an MKB as well, so there's going to be no dodge chance there. Mirana with the star is going to kill off the Brew. He's going to instantly buy back. Chain Frost is out, and it will be dragged away by Arman over to Edie, and it's going to screw over the Skywrath Mage completely. Arman taking quite a bit of damage, but he hasn't held his dominance, so if he wants to turn around, he can. 8-Mother going to jump right in for the clap split onto Gasha, who's going to be forced to leap out to the south. Cube and Chill still very healthy, though. They're going to try to distract the Brewmaster as best they can, but the Troll Warlord not exactly too healthy. He's going to try to regenerate a little bit in the neutral camps as Chill's going to get jumped upon. He's going to dodge a lot of this damage, however. He's still taking quite a bit. Time walk up to the high ground. Wow, that was a long time walk. And here comes Cube. Wants to jump right back in, try to go for the Lich. And now in the Shadow form, Shadow Dance, you will be able to make that kill happen. 8-Mother now being focused, losing quite a lot of stats. And Cube with plus 22, 23, 24 is absolutely loaded on agility. That's a double kill for him. And E-Skills going to dodge the arrow, but Cube's going to pounce forward, and E-Skills is going to drop as well. Buybacks from the Morphling as well as Centaur. But I don't think they could defend this. Chronosphere is going to be up in 20, but do they need Chronosphere? It's just, it should be easily taking down this melee set of Raxes with the amount of attack speed that they have.
This should actually be a full Ancient Swipe. They don't have buyback on the Brewmaster, so that's a big problem. But now, in they go with that Stampede. It does not matter. Just the threat of that Troll Warlord is just far too much. QPE going to be forced back with the shotgun, but it's the full set of Rax in the mid lane. Chill on a Wicked Stick, brings down that Shadow Demon once again. Now they're going to look for Solon, bashing, looking for it. Chronosphere on 2. Oh, Skills, that's not the fight you want. He is just taking so much damage. And the GG is called godlike triple kill for Chill.
And Goomba make a... They still actually draw this game out quite a long time. It doesn't feel as long as it really was because stuff was actually happening, but Troll Warlord synergy with Slark and Faceless Void turns out to be pretty strong, as all these heroes are incredibly dangerous. Slark going for his second Eye of Scotty because, you know, you have 2 eyes, so you need 2 eyes of Scotty. Might as well do that, and yeah, it turns out the 5 Hand of Midas strategy isn't that good.
No, it appears not. But end of the day, it's a case of Goomba take the series 2-1.
Alright guys, that is the end for us on this channel for today. That's going to mean Goomba advances to round 2. Coasts are going to drop to the losers bracket to face up against, I believe, Compass Gaming. I'm not exactly sure on that, but it's going to be Virtus Pro Polar versus Goomba sometime in the future. I'm not too sure when that game's going to go down, but keep your eyes open for that. Thanks for tuning in here on the HeflaTV2 ESFX channel. If you liked the cast, then be sure to follow us over on Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook. It's going to be HeflaTV on Twitter and Facebook, and HeflaTV1 and HeflaTV2 on Twitch is where we normally stream. I'm Mike Loris. I've been joined by Mr. Blackadder. Do you have anything else to say, man, or are we just done with this game?
Someone somewhere find a way to make Hand of Midas a bad item, please. Just please. But other
Minus
than
30
that,
attack speed.
yes, do that. But other than that, I guess you can find us here for some more Yard Red tournament. You can find us over on Twitch for all of our other works, and hell, you can find me probably streaming tomorrow night or later on just on my channel, Mr._Blackadder.
Alright guys, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time. There's still games going on twitch.tv/HeflaTV2, so be sure to head over there. And that's going to be it for now. GG guys.